Counterpunch promo live in 3, 2, 1.
ipmNation.com.
Why is everybody whispering? There's no need to whisper. It's time to give everyone a preview of what's happening this week on IPM Nation. IPM Nation Sneak Speak, kicking around the week ahead.
Good evening and welcome to Sneak Speak. I'm Brian Brawdy, as always, here with Mr. Matt Connarton. Matt, I got to tell you, when I hear the whispering of that every time, it makes me think of The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Psst, 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 psst. Yeah, I don't know how these people fall asleep at night, right? It's too much. Too much stress, The Walking Dead. I'm happy with the life I have. Too much. Too much.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be a zombie. I have to confess, I've never actually seen the show.
Oh, save yourself. You don't want to get addicted. Well, because I watched a little bit of it last night, but I'll tell you, the one show that I never miss is The Blacklist. So I could give up, I could cut the cord, whatever else they call it, right? I could get rid of everything, but The Blacklist with James Spader playing the bad guy, I'm just drawn to that, I think, right?
I know Jenny was watching that for a while. I don't think she kept up with it, but
really?
I've only seen the show a handful of times, but James Spader is a great actor.
Boy, isn't he though? You just
I
believe
used to love him on Boston Legal.
Oh, he was great on Boston Legal, and they had one episode in this show, The Blacklist now, where he played his own attorney again. You know, and it was like a flashback to Boston Legal. That was something. Plus,
really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was something else. But we didn't call to talk about that. We called to talk about you and IPM Nation, of course. So what's big, what's new and exciting this week? What do you got going on?
Well, actually, we should focus more on you because you've got some exciting things. But I will just mention briefly for my show, Matt Connarton Unleashed, tomorrow, Monday, because I'm on live weekdays 4 to 6 Eastern Time. My sister is going to be calling in.
Wow.
So this will be a first. I've had, my dad has called a couple times, and I occasionally see my uncle, whose name is also Matt Connarton, because my family is super creative with names. I've seen him show up in the chat room a few times on Facebook during my live show.
All right.
But my sister is going to be calling in to talk a little bit about, and hopefully this is something that will help some people. She deals with, and I'm actually looking for exactly what she called it, but she deals with mental illness, not schizophrenia, but
okay.
Now I can't seem to find it. I'm looking real quick. Schizo something. What was?
Huh.
Anyway,
all right.
She's going to be calling in to talk about that because here it is. So she calls it a mashup of bipolar and schizophrenia. So it's schizoaffective disorder.
Oh wow.
So she's going to be calling in to talk about that.
That'd be cool.
Because we were kind of talking online about, it seems to be in our family a bit. My grandmother, on my mother's side, was bipolar, and my mother struggles with depression. I struggle with it, but my sister, what my sister has is, I told her, I said it's far beyond. What she struggles with is far beyond anything I've ever had to deal with. I mean, I have, just regular old run-of-the-mill depression. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Not to minimize it. It sucks. But what she has to deal with, and hallucinations, and all kinds of stuff, is way beyond anything I've ever had to deal with. So we were kind of talking about that online, and she said that she's doing a lot better. She's on the right medications and so forth. And she made a comment that she wishes that she could help other people.
Oh, cool.
You know, especially people who might be dealing with this but are undiagnosed, who haven't gone and gotten help yet and whatnot. And I said,
those are the times that you have those things going on, but you've always been fantastic whenever I call and the like. So I don't know if that helps or what, but I was really surprised because you're always you're so inspiring.
Well, thank you. And you know, but talking to you always helps me too, because you're always very upbeat and positive and whatnot. And I try to, you know, it's funny dealing with my depression. I try to, I do actively, if I'm down, try to, you know, find things to perk me up and make me feel better, and kind of remind me that, you know, things are good, life is good, everything's good, just got to keep going. Because, like, I've never understood, you know, sometimes people, when they're sad, they'll want to listen to sad music or things like that, you know, and kind of lean into it that way. And that's, my idea has always kind of been the opposite. Like, if I'm feeling sad, the last thing I want to do is listen to a sad song or watch a sad movie or something. I want to do the opposite. When I'm feeling that way, all I want to do is get myself out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely know what you mean. Absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then for me, I think, you know, one of the, you know, after you've been married a few years, you realize that not very many couples have a lot of complimentary things to say anymore. But I will say to you that when it comes to my wife, she said to me, she goes, you know what, for everything that you're going through, that you get up every day thinking this will be the day that you'll beat the pain. This will be the day you beat the tumor. This will be the day you beat the shunt. This will be the day, whatever the chop block is of fate. She goes, I have to say, you get up every morning totally oblivious to the pain, to the medical, to all the things that are going on around you, and you get up and go, let's nail it. So she goes, so she says, you know, you do have that ability within you, and it's the only way I've ever known. I get, you know, it's terribly stoic of me, but the embrace the suck, you know, the Tao follows its own path, blah, 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 blah. It's just like you got to, you know, just you refuse to lose, and no matter what, you're gonna beat it. So that's always been, at least for me, that's how I do it. Is that I just go, great, all right. So what do you got? What do you got now? Let's see who wins by the end of this day, and I go from there. Yeah. No, but that should be fascinating programming tomorrow night to learn about what your sister's up against, and I'm sure she will be able to help people. You know what I mean? That might be going through the same thing. So that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. She's never been on the show before, so
that's great.
That'll just be fun too. You know, that'll be cool to have my sister on.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So what else is going on this week? We got a little bit to talk about here about tomorrow morning, but outside of that, what do we got going on this week?
Oh, I should probably mention we did pick up another show.
Cool.
Since we last talked. Now we did run. We did run the first episode already today. It's called Sack 'em Up Sundays.
Okay.
One of our new hosts, Brendan Fisher, who also is the host of Dead Tube.
Okay.
Then I found out he has another show. So he's got so many episodes of Sack 'em Up Sundays that we're running the newest one every Sunday, but we're also running previous episodes on ipmNation 2 weekday mornings at 1 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, cool.
Because it's a fun show. Much like Robin Slim, definitely not safe for work.
Right. Oh, Robin Slim. Hey, I saw Cellophane John. I was linked or tagged or hooked or something like that in a Facebook post the other day, and I go, oh, well, I won't be heading over there anytime soon. So would you let me know if there's anything important from whatever I was tagged in? I just said, oh, good to know. See ya. And went from there. So just so you know.
All right. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Was anything important?
Yeah. He wanted to know when you're gonna call into the show again, into my show.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Which you're welcome to do anytime.
Thanks,
you know,
brother.
we just have to keep in mind we can't, because that show is on WMNH.
Right.
We can't we can't talk about IPM Nation specifically, but we can kind of talk around it.
Sure.
but he's actually looking forward to another interaction
I'm
with
sure.
you.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, what are you going to do? All right, so let's. I have to tell you that I'm probably going to need a little bit of a clinic. I tried to edit together some audio today, and what takes me 8 hours will take you 8 seconds. But maybe we'll talk a little bit about what we got going on, and I'm very excited. I have to tell you, Matt, about tomorrow, and I think that. A lot of times, and I say to Wayne, and I've said to other people, well, we're not going live on Facebook, we're not going live we're doing this, we're doing that, and I'm really excited to go back to radio and not give two damns what the video is doing. And just really excited about going back. One, being in mornings, right? I love the idea of helping jumpstart people's brains before they get out the door. So I've got a little bit of that going on. But I'm very excited. Starting tomorrow morning, I will be going Monday through Friday, 7. We're going to start the first ones off. Will be 7 to 7:30. See what the doctor says. See how everything's shaken out. And then we'll probably go 7 to 8, eventually 7 to 9. And then hopefully, right after we get the world's record, we'll be going 7 to 10. Yeah, there you go. We'll be going 3 hours in the morning, so I'm very excited about it. But one of the things that excites me the most is I get to learn from you as to what I still can work on and focus on and what I need to do in order to make it entertaining for people, in order to make it, as I said over on Instagram, radio that sparks your smart. Right?
Yeah.
I like that. Probably much the same as you do and your sister wanting to help people and everything else. So I'm really fired up about that for tomorrow morning. It will be on Counterpunch, which is ipmNation 3. We'll start live at 7 a.m. We'll broadcast to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, the video aspect of it. But I get to return to it being a full-on radio show, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that as well. And still have call-ins, right? Still have the ability for people to reach out to us and everything else. So it's a little weird. Like I'm thinking tonight after the show, I don't have to wait around and do our show, right? So you and I get to hang out, and then I'm going, no, I'm packing it in. I got to get up, bright and early tomorrow morning and pull this off. So any thoughts, any tips, anything that you could, that you'd go, oh, yeah, that's something you could think to do. Any suggestions as to, because tomorrow will be the 425th episode. Get the heck out of here. The 425th episode of All Natural Being, which is weird to me as well. But any suggestions, anything you think I got a pen here, so I'm ready to write it down. Anything you can think of?
I always want to come up with something, but I think what you're doing already is so good, and I think it will be interesting to to see what the audience has to say about it. Once you get rolling in the mornings, feedback from the audience, and will the callers be different? Obviously, you'll have some different people listening live who maybe weren't able to listen at night, and it'll be interesting to hear from them. What they want to hear during the show, what they want you to talk about, what they want you to kind of focus on. I mean, those are your audience. Obviously, those are the folks that. When you're doing a live show, it's kind of a real-time focus group, right? You get instant feedback from the audience, and I think it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say.
Well, I'm very excited about, there's already been people posting in the feed, hey, we're looking forward to having you back in mornings. But I got to tell you, Matt, and I know you were on the other evening, if you got a chance to listen to the show, we had 3 or 4 callers call in, and it's hard because I've through at least one brain surgery, if not shortly after the second brain surgery, I went to evening. So I built, I built some really decent, and by decent, I mean close and heartfelt relationships with people that are on in the evenings, and that supported me and came by whenever they could, that kind of thing. So it's, my friend David Ray Bowman just gets on the feed in the evenings and types out, boo, boo, right? So, you know what I mean? And so I'm not all that excited. You know what I mean, about leaving evenings, but I am excited about getting back on top of it and getting to the point where the doctors aren't able to give me a hard time anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About, oh, you getting enough rest? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? I mean, I've put a concerted effort in now to the Tumor 25 that you and I have talked about. So I'll be doing
Right.
that. But I'm excited about. We've recorded some different ins. We've got some different segments. We've got some different things we're doing. So tomorrow morning show will probably just be a little bit of a run through of everything that you can expect from now on. We'll be announcing the new segments. Some of radio to crush your can't, radio to jumpstart your day, radio that sparks your smart. So we've got things like that that will be incorporated, taglines and the like. So we're going to endeavor to make it like a real radio show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. A little nervous, but excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
It's good to be a little nervous, you know?
I think so. I like it. You know what I mean? It's, there's a lot of people that go, oh, well, what do you do with that extra energy? It's what, it's you use it to fuel whatever it is you're doing, or at least I've always done it. So
Right.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Good. Good.
And we'll see, like you
Yeah.
say, will
Sure.
people get up at that, or will people be up? It's 7 Eastern, but obviously that's 6, and then 5 and then 4 across the country. So we'll see, but we'll still have the gong heard around the world, some of those things, and so we're excited about it, and we'll see where the numbers, go. So, but I wanted to thank you and Jenny and everyone at IPM Nation. 425 episodes. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So thank you all very much for that. So enough about me. What else we got going on this week at IPM Nation? How are our top 10 cities looking? Why don't we give a shout out to the people that have whose shows are in the top 10? Where do we stand with all of that?
Yeah. Yeah. So let me, I had that pulled up and ready to go, and then I accidentally
Sorry, brother.
closed out that tab. I got like 10 tabs open. I'm one of those people. I always have like more tabs open on my browser than I need.
Well, what's up with me here, Matt, is that we try and keep the internet so that anything that I could have that's pulling an internet signal, I go ahead and kill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because I don't want
Yeah.
anything to interfere. And then I look up here and I go, wait a minute, I got Wi-Fi going. What the heck am I doing? There's a Wi-Fi on this computer. So I try to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, just for that reason.
Yeah. It's funny, in looking at our top 10 cities, New York is still number one. So,
Great.
The number one market, which is good to see. I may have said this before the last time we talked about the number one cities, but for the longest time, Manchester, New Hampshire would be number one because that's where we're located,
Sure.
That's where we started, et cetera. So it's always good to see other cities take over the top spot.
Right.
Now Boston is number 2 and Manchester is number 3. Because when it's Manchester all the time, it's like, oh, come on, we're trying to,
Right.
really build our listenership and
Right.
viewership in other markets.
So what do we
It's
have as the
great to
top
see it.
10? So New York is number 1.
Yeah, and then Boston.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and that's just an hour south of us. But,
Sure.
and then Manchester, and then
Okay.
number 4 is Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, that's nice for all the good people here. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got and then Saginaw, Michigan.
Saginaw, okay, great. I think that's
Minneapolis,
Wayne's stomping grounds up in Saginaw.
Oh, okay, good.
I think so, yeah.
We have Minneapolis, which I understand is very, very cold.
It is cold. A friend of mine lived in Minneapolis once, and I called him, and we were talking, and he goes, can you hear that noise? And I go, I can. And he goes, that's the sound of the house cracking. It was so cold, the wood in the house would crack. I'm like, yeah, that's, you know what I mean? Unless it's an Armageddon kind of thing, I'm not ready for that. Right?
I thought you liked that extreme stuff.
I do, but for an adventure, right? Like I would be
Yeah.
all over, this guy who just did crossing Antarctica on a sled. I
Yeah.
would be all over giving it a shot. I just don't think I'm going to move to the Arctic Circle anytime soon. I
Yeah, I
just,
don't blame you.
you know what I mean? So that's a part of it. But I love it. I remember, 50 below, 40 below in Yellowstone and the like. I dig that kind of extreme, as you know.
Right.
All right, let me see.
Let's-
Wayne says, "Oh, just got a text in from Wayne. All is good on Facebook and YouTube tonight, Matt." So saying that we're
good,
not going to
good,
worry
good.
about that. So now at least we know.
Yeah.
All right. So then we've got the top 10 for the cities. What are we looking on shows? What's going on over there for our top 10 this week? Let's give a shout out to the people that made the top 10.
Yeah. So we've got All Natural Bean is number one.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Rob and Slim is number two.
Very nice. I'm going to be on their show this week, by the way.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
good. I'm
something
glad that came up. Yeah. What now? They're on live from. They're on for a few hours. Do you know what time you're going to be on?
No, I told him I would do it whatever was best for for Rob. So I think as last we spoke, I think he said he's just going to text me and tell me when he's looking. Or let me just check here while you're busy doing some of the other things. Let me see what he said. All right, let me see.
So while you're checking that, number three we have Red Pill Politics, which is actually on right now over on ipmNation 2, I think.
Okay.
We've got the Ambrose Kirkland show at number
cool.
4. Ambrose has had his hands full lately, so hasn't done a live show, but people have been checking out the archive apparently.
Cool.
Let's see, we have Local Outbreak, which is the other show that I do.
Cool.
That focuses on the New Hampshire music scene. A lot of great talent here.
Cool.
Let's see, we've got the Lendy Experience, which is Monday mornings at 10 a.m. on ipmNation 2.
Oh.
That's a hip-hop show that Lendy does. Let's see. Then we've got Proof of Love, which is a new show that started recently, hosted by Tatiana Moroz, along with a couple other people. But Tatiana, she has another show called The Tatiana Moroz Show, who we also carry. We've got a show you might be familiar with, Copy That Speaks.
Copy That Speaks, with Mr. Lee Rowley, sure. How's Dumb and Busted doing? Did you say Dumb and Busted already? Or
no, that's not currently in our top 10. You know, it kind of floats in and out.
Okay,
you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see, my show, Matt Connarton Unleashed, is currently at number 9.
Excellent.
And then it's number 10 is the Hustle Report.
Oh, very nice.
Easy the Gift.
There you go. Well, congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to Matt and everyone that's in the top 10. Quick one here, Matt. Rob says, Brian, would you be able to call in Wednesday, March 6th at 7:30 Eastern time? So it'll be this coming Wednesday, which will be good because I will have been back from the doctor by then, hopefully with a clean bill of health, and be ready to just go in and tear it up. So I'm looking forward to that. But yes, this Wednesday at 7:30, I guess I call in.
Yeah, that's great. So that's Rob and Slim on ipmNation 2, and I'll be off the air by then, so I'll be able to listen live.
Very cool.
That's great.
I'm looking forward to it. I am. I will tell you.
Yeah, good. Yeah, those guys are a handful.
Now, well, speaking of a handful, I have to tell you, and I'm sorry to have forgotten his name already, but the guy with the glasses on ipmNation, Freedom something. Awakening Freedom. We interviewed him last week.
Awakening Liberty, yeah.
Awakening Liberty. What was his first name again?
Oh, Sean Carone.
Sean, I mean, he caused my mind to think about quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He really did with some of those things. But what came of it for me was that, and this is kind of the direction the morning show will be taking now, is that there are a lot of people, a lot of forces, a lot of, not to go all conspiracy and aliens and the like, but there are a lot of forces trying to dummy down the human condition, trying to water down human wherewithal. And I'm looking forward to a segment of our show being how we're going to stand up to that, right? What it's going to take to be able to go, you know what, I've had about enough of this. And what it's going to take, because a part of your all-natural being is being able to exercise it. And it doesn't do you any good, really, to have this sense of an all-natural being if there's all kinds of people doing what they can to disrupt you, all kinds of people that don't have their own power. So they're interested in, kind of siphoning off some of yours. So I'm really excited about that. That's the new open that we have over on the site and everything else. So I'm really, I'm looking forward to that.
Great. Yeah. And by the way, so we had talked about those damn envelopes.
Yeah. What's going on with those?
So for those who didn't hear last week's show, so Sean was talking about at the Bush funeral,
Right.
Bush 41,
Right.
these mysterious envelopes that were given out to certain people,
Right.
and the expressions on their faces when they opened them. And I'm not a big, I think conspiracy theories are kind of interesting and whatnot, but I don't usually go down the rabbit hole. But I was intrigued by this. I was curious, and I ended up messaging Sean on Facebook a little while later. I said, "Yep, you got me. I'm still trying to figure out this damn envelope." Because I went on YouTube and I found the videos that he was talking about.
Yeah.
These very strange envelopes that the media hasn't talked about at all.
Right.
That certain people at the funeral were, they were opening up and looking at them, and they kind of had these looks of Jeb Bush looked actually kind of shaken up.
Huh.
By whatever was in the envelope. It was
Whatever's
very
in the envelope.
strange.
Yeah, well, like I said, his conversation with us was instrumental in me going, look, we might have to be in a position here before too long to stand up for what we believe is right, to what we believe is our definition of exercising your all-natural being. So I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know if I would have actually wrapped my mind around it without our conversation last week. So thank you very much for that. If you talk to him, please tell him I said thank you as well.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's cool.
What else you working on this week? I know your sister's coming in tomorrow night. I can tell you one time I met a guy when you talked about Matt Connarton because they really weren't creative in terms of names. Little different, but I met a guy at an event. I was speaking, and a guy came up to me afterwards and says, "Hey, do you mind if my sons get a picture taken with you?" And I'm like, "No, that'd be great." So what's going on with you? And he says, "Well, I have a dental practice here in town." And I go, "Oh, wow, that's pretty cool." But he goes, "Yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks." And I said, "Well, why is that?" And he goes, "Well, my name is Brian Brawdy." So when they were advertising you coming into town, everyone was calling the practice going, "Wait a minute, what are you doing now? Why are you speaking? You're not a public speaker. What are you doing?" We thought, did you close the practice? Did you do this or that? So he said, "I just wanted my sons to have their picture taken with another Brian Brawdy that wasn't their dad."
That's funny.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, great, sure, whatever. But yeah, another Brian Brawdy. Spelled it with a Y.
Yeah,
There's
bound to be some others out there. My last name is extremely rare, particularly the spelling.
All
the way
right.
my family spells it. There aren't many. There is another Matt Connarton right here in New England. My uncle. But
Okay.
other
Good
than
to
that, that's about it.
That's
as far
it.
as I can
As
find.
far as you can tell. Very cool. All right, brother. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to get ready to head out of here before too long. We got about a minute before we're going to wrap. Anything that you'd like to share with everybody before we jump out of here?
No, you know what? I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow's a big day.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to mornings, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
Thank you.
And of course, for people who don't get to tune in live, they'll be able to hear the archive a little bit later.
Thank you.
And the video will be. Or you're going to go to Facebook and YouTube.
You'll go to Facebook,
like you are
YouTube.
now?
I think Wayne's planning on Twitter. Much the same as we do it here. So I think that's the plan. But
Sure.
We'll see how it all works out bright and early in the morning.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
not bright and early,
So hopefully
but 7
people
o'clock.
participate live, and if they can't, they can get it later.
Sounds good. All right, Matt. Well, thanks again for everything. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow morning, and I wouldn't be if it weren't for all of the edumacation that you've given me over the years in being able to pull this off. So thank you very much. I super appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Brian.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us for another edition of Sneak Speak. I almost said Copy That Speaks, of Sneak Speak, giving you an idea of what's going on in IPM Nation. We're growing, adding new shows, new content, new just intellectual intimacy at every turn we're adding here on ipmNation.com. So thank you so very much for joining us, and we're going to get out of here. Have an absolutely fantastic evening.
Bye, everybody.